My uncle was resting in his room when I stumbled upon something unexpected. A true tale of betrayal. I'm Emily, and I'm 22 years old. Perhaps you're curious about how a girl of my age finds herself living with her uncle, particularly in light of the story I'm about to share. To be truthful, I never thought this would unfold either. I'm immersed in graphic design, dedicating my days to drawing, creating, and taking on freelance projects. Ever since my parents went their separate ways when I was a child, life has felt like a constant struggle. I found myself constantly shifting, in search of a sense of permanence. In the end, I found myself living with my Uncle David. It wasn't supposed to happen this way. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Your support allows me to share more captivating true stories like this one with you. Make sure to watch this video all the way through and give it a thumbs up, as the story unfolding here is truly captivating. I would truly appreciate it if you could take a moment to hit the like button and show your support. It all began when my mother had to leave for work, and I found myself in need of a place to stay while completing my college studies. David, my uncle, was the sole family member who stepped in to offer assistance. He has shared his life with his wife, Karen, for several years now. They reside in a lovely home nestled in the serene countryside, away from the hustle and bustle of the city. I believed it would merely be a brief escape to a serene location, yet the reality unfolded quite differently than I had anticipated. As time passed, I found myself settling into the house, embracing the routine and the tranquility it offered, or at least that's what I believed. Today, an event unfolded that weighs on my heart, something I feel compelled to reveal. It all began when I entered David's room while he lay in slumber. Before I delve into the details, I kindly urge you to subscribe to the channel. This way, you won't miss any part of this unfolding tale. Allow me to share a bit about David. He's quite different from the typical uncle figure. In my eyes, he has always played the role of a mentor rather than that of a family member. In my formative years, he was the one who guided me in learning to ride a bike, showed me the ropes of fixing things around the house, and generously gifted me my first car when I reached the age of 18, when my mom found herself in need of someone to take me in. It was clear that David was the one to turn to. He possesses a deep sense of thoughtfulness, exudes patience, and radiates kindness. It wasn't solely him I was preparing to share my space with. His wife, Karen, had been part of the story for some time now. They tied the knot 2 years back, and honestly, I had my doubts about her in the beginning. She's older than David, and there was something about her that made me feel like I didn't quite belong in their home. At first, I took refuge in the guest room at the far end of the house, making a conscious effort to avoid imposing on anyone. As time passed, the tension eased, and Karen began to share her wisdom on cooking, cleaning, and managing the home. We may not have been best friends, but the atmosphere had certainly lightened compared to before. I believed that improvements were on the horizon. Recently, I've come across something that I find difficult to put into words. As I spent more moments with David, an undeniable pull towards him began to grow within me. His smiles, the gentle brush of his hand, and the way his gaze lingered on me when he believed I was lost in thought. It felt distinct. I found it impossible to overlook. A tension began to grow between us, an energy that felt inescapable. I can sense the thoughts swirling in your mind. Emily, my dear, could you clarify what you mean he is indeed your uncle? It feels a bit out there. I understand. Yet this bond is impossible to ignore. I attempted to dismiss it, convincing myself that it was merely a figment of my imagination. Yet, in those moments when it was just the two of us, the air seemed to hum with an unspoken connection, as if an invisible force was drawing us closer. This is the place. Things take a turn for the intriguing. One evening after dinner, I found myself immersed in a project in my room when I suddenly heard footsteps echoing in the hallway. David had been lost in his slumber for hours. while Karen was out enjoying time with friends, leaving us in solitude. Initially, it didn't seem significant to me, but then I heard the door to his bedroom slowly creak open. I hesitated for a moment, caught between the urge to let him find peace and the desire to step inside. Yet, there was an undeniable force that drew me to him softly. I quietly opened the door, making sure not to interrupt him. He lay there, on his back, one arm casually resting behind his head, exuding an air of tranquility. As he slept, the light from the window gently caressed his face, creating soft shadows that rendered him almost ethereal, as if he were beyond reach. I paused for a moment, feeling my heart race within me. A warmth spread across my cheeks, and I could sense my heart racing in my chest. I've never experienced anything like this before. Perhaps I was drawn to him in a way I can't quite explain, or maybe it was something deeper than that. I had no idea. My mind was momentarily disrupted when I clumsily tipped over a vase close to his bed. The sound caused David to stir, his eyes fluttering open, and for a fleeting moment, our gazes intertwined. His eyes were filled with a deep sense of confusion. Yet, there's more to it, too. There's this feeling, elusive and hard to define. He blinked a few times, attempting to gather his thoughts, then released a soft, sleepy chuckle. "Is that you, Emily?" "What brings you here today?" he inquired, his voice heavy with slumber. My heart pounded in my chest as I grappled with the right words to express myself. I found myself in a tricky situation, not wanting to appear intrusive, yet struggling to find the right words to clarify my intentions. My mouth felt parched. I truly didn't intend to disturb your rest," I murmured, a wave of embarrassment washing over me. David stirred awake, his hands moving to massage the sleep from his eyes. He offered me a smile, the same type. He always offered a patient smile, yet today, there was an unmistakable change in his gaze. There was a moment that truly set my heart racing. He regarded me intently for a moment before he chose to speak again. "Is it really okay?" he spoke softly. "I'm here for you whenever you need to share what's on your mind. Emily, my dear, I'm here to listen to you." I nodded, yet my thoughts were in a whirlwind. I found myself grappling with this unfamiliar emotion. The atmosphere was thick, and I sensed my breathing quickening. I felt the need to share. I murmured softly. David's smile dimmed slightly, and for a fleeting moment, I sensed a hesitation in his eyes before it disappeared completely. He gently beckoned to the space beside him. "Step closer." Then, "I'm here for you whenever you need to share what's on your mind." He spoke with a gentle warmth. I lingered for a moment, feeling uncertain, yet there was an undeniable force within me that urged me onward. Absent. Reflecting. I found myself sitting beside him. There was an undeniable heaviness in the air between us. It feels like a weight that just keeps growing. The warmth of his body pressed against me was undeniable, the scent of his cologne enveloping the space. In that moment, we were so intimately connected that I could hear his breath and sense the gentle rhythm of his chest, rising and falling. With every breath, my heart quickened once more, and gradually, it feels as if time is stretching out, each moment unfolding deliberately. I raised my gaze to meet his eyes. Our faces were so close that I could sense the warmth radiating from him. His gaze held a gentle warmth. I find myself in a state of uncertainty. Yet, there was an additional layer to consider, a sensation that sent shivers across my skin. "Emily, my dear, how are you holding up?" David inquired softly. Prior to that moment, I might have a response. I moved in a bit nearer to him. My heart raced, and I felt a tightness in my chest. It's hard to put into words, but the weight of it all was overwhelming. It felt as if the very atmosphere was alive with energy. David remained close, not retreating from the moment. His gaze locked onto mine, filled with a profound stillness. He remained silent, yet His breath began to quicken, reflecting my own. The atmosphere in the room seemed to embrace me with a gentle warmth. The quiet stretched between us, heavy with things left unsaid. My thoughts were spinning out of control. Everything has brought us to this moment. At this very moment, I found myself unable to hold back. Gently, I moved closer. My lips quiver, as though I am lost in a dream. They gently touched his, in the beginning. There was a sense of doubt. Hesitant, however, as our lips connected. Delicate and soothing, I found myself unable to hold back. My thoughts were in turmoil, urging me to halt. Yet, my body would not comply. This was essential for me. This is what I desired. David's hand gently cradled my cheek, drawing me near. His other hand lay gently beside us, caressing my skin. The warmth of his touch enveloped me. The kiss grew more intense, and soon it became difficult to discern where his lips concluded and mine commenced. It felt as if everything else faded away. It was only the two of us, ensnared in this undeniable bond. My thoughts swirled in a haze of uncertainty. Shame weighs heavily on my heart. But there's also something peculiar, feeling of correctness. What were we up to? What made it feel so essential? It was beyond words, an experience that defied explanation. It just doesn't make sense. He paused for just a moment, his forehead gently pressed against mine. Our breathing felt weighty, laden with unspoken truths. Every breath feels unsteady and drawn out. His pulse throbbed gently against my skin, a quiet reminder of the connection between us, in sync with the quickening rhythm of my heart. Emily. His voice carried a gentle warmth, burdened by an underlying weight. Perhaps it's best if we refrain. Yet, I found myself uncertain. Of course, I said yes. There was a part of me that simply wouldn't accept any justification for holding back. With a gentle hesitation, I extended my hand towards his. As I entwined my fingers with his, a sense of connection washes over me. He stayed close, not pulling away, his fingers intertwined with mine, clinging to each other with an intensity that mirrored our emotions. Our gazes intertwined, and for a long moment, I found myself lost in thought. There was silence between us. The burden of it all lingered in the space between us. Are we really doing this? Is it possible for us to do that? My hand found its way to the back of his neck, almost without thinking, drawing him nearer. I kissed him once more. This moment, there was a certain clarity in the moment. Embrace courage, the deep, pressing desire to remain near him, to sense his presence. David's hand gently traced the curve of my back, pulling me in. The connection between our bodies heightened every sensation to an extraordinary level. I found myself uncertain about the direction this was taking. Yet, I chose not to. It's important to show concern. I longed to remain in this moment, where it felt like only the two of us were present in the world. My heart raced within me as his lips brushed against my neck, gentle kisses brushing softly against my skin. His breath brushed softly against my ear. It sends a chill coursing through me. It was a sensation I had never experienced before. Personal, engulfing, and profoundly. That's not quite right. It was exhilarating, in a manner that eluded my ability to articulate. "Are you really certain about this?" he whispered softly against my skin, his voice heavy with longing. "I truly wish to avoid causing you any pain." I shut my eyes, seeking to uncover my voice. Every part of me was pleading for it to end, to distance oneself. Yet, I found myself unable to do so. The yearning was overwhelming. The need is overwhelming. I just wanted to escape my thoughts. I felt hesitant to question anything. I truly believe I wanted to be with him. Without a doubt. I confided softly, my hands gliding over his chest, experiencing the gentle heat of his skin under my touch. "I desire this, David. I desire you deeply." Once more, his lips sought out mine, and this time, The kiss held more meaning. It's becoming increasingly pressing. At this point, the path ahead was set, and retreat was not an option. The world beyond. This room held no significance. It was solely about the emotions he stirred within me, longed for. I understand that you feel a sense of need. And vibrant in a way I had never felt before. The walls felt like they were inching closer, enveloping us in their embrace. The light faded, deepening the bond we shared, each caress, each and every one. A kiss carried the weight of unspoken vows, hinting at deeper connections yet to unfold. There was an uncharted territory between us, a mystery we both sensed but couldn't quite grasp, yet we were both eager to delve into it together. His heartbeat resonated steadily with my own, submerging in the cadence of my being. And even though a part of me continued to resist the truth of what was unfolding, a great deal, a significant part of me has given in entirely. It had evolved beyond mere kisses. It went deeper than that. It was a bond that defied explanation, a connection that transcended mere language. This desire has lingered within me for what feels like an eternity, David confided softly. His breath lingered, warm against my lips. I struggled to grasp his words while my hands explored him, experiencing the tension and strength hidden just under the surface. The warmth of his presence, his response to me was quite telling. Yet, here we are, with no way to retreat. There was an undeniable force between us, pulling us ever closer together, in a manner that caught us both off guard. In that moment, it felt as if time itself had paused, enveloping us in the weight of our loss. We find ourselves reflected in one another, in the soft cadence of our embraces, the gentle embrace of our hands. For the first time, everything seemed to fall into place. In the quiet of the room, the boundaries of our relationship faded away, and we became something more than just uncle and niece. We were two souls connected by a profound bond. It was an experience that surpassed anything I had ever encountered. The atmosphere between David and me was heavy with unspoken words. Neither of us made a move. We sat in silence, neither of us uttering a word. In an instant, the stillness was broken by the creak of the front door swinging open downstairs. I found myself completely immobilized. My heart raced, and I instinctively pulled away from David. A wave of panic surges within me. What have we just done? Can you help me understand what was going on between us? The weight of guilt enveloped me. Yet, it was intertwined with another feeling, a longing I couldn't suppress. I found myself caught in the space between the connection we had just experienced and the undeniable truth that we were woven into something deeper. It was something we found difficult to reverse. David hesitated for a moment, remaining still. His gaze was fixed on me, yet his face revealed nothing. The intensity of our connection was palpable, the persistent intimacy that still hung in the air. "Emily," he murmured softly. His voice trembled with tension. Before he had the chance to utter another word, the sound of footsteps reverberated as they ascended the stairs. David heard a voice that struck a familiar chord within me. My heart felt heavy. It was Karen. Wasn't it? I swiftly leaped off the bed. My breath comes in quick, shallow gasps. I found myself at a loss, unsure of the path to take. Thoughts swirled chaotically within me. I found myself at a loss, unable to see a way forward. Could I truly confront her after everything that had just unfolded? The door to David's room slowly opened, revealing her presence. Karen lingered in the doorway, a silent presence waiting to be acknowledged. Her expression was a canvas of astonishment. Her gaze danced between David and me. A look of bewilderment washed over her face as she absorbed the unfolding scene. "Yes, Emily David. My friend, can you help me understand what's happening here?" she inquired, her tone wavering. Yet, there was another layer to it, a feeling deep within, perhaps That indicated to her that something was amiss. The color seemed to fade from my cheeks. Karen's presence hit me like a splash of icy water, and in that instant, everything seemed off-kilter. I find myself at a loss for words to convey this situation. There's truly no way to make sense of what just transpired between David and me. My throat constricted, and I found myself grappling with the right words to express what I felt. I stumbled over my words, feeling uncertain about how to express myself. David, now perched on the edge of the bed, appeared equally adrift. He rubbed the back of his neck, a clear sign of his embarrassment. I find it difficult to articulate what I'm feeling. Karen's eyes shifted from him to me, and in that moment, a silent connection formed between us. It felt like, in that fleeting instant, the world transformed completely. Karen sensed that something was amiss, something that was never meant to happen. Yet, her response caught me completely off guard. In her eyes, there was a profound, unsettling sadness that overshadowed any feelings of anger or disappointment. She entered the room, gently shutting the door behind her. Her presence was powerful, and an unusual, tense silence enveloped the room. It feels like a moment of stillness. Just before everything changes, Emily, my dear, you need to understand something, Karen said gently, her voice softer than I had anticipated. There's a deeper layer to this than you might understand. It's deeper than what either of you truly grasp. I gazed at her, a wave of confusion washing over me. What is it that troubles you? What was she trying to convey? What else could there possibly be? The silence hung in the air long after Karen had departed. Her words lingered, etching themselves into our minds, even amidst the chaos surrounding us. Her serene presence and willingness to help provided me with an unanticipated gift. Hope is a fragile yet powerful feeling that often flickers in the darkest of times. Karen, I wasn't angry. She embraced us instead. Instead, she offered us an opportunity, a possibility that seemed delicate and unclear, yet it lingered on. I cast a fleeting look at David. His expression revealed a blend of remorse and uncertainty, along with an elusive emotion that I couldn't fully grasp. He turned his eyes away from me. His hands fidgeted, rubbing together with unease. He carried the burden of what had transpired, and I could sense it deeply within him. It's remarkable how our paths crossed in such an unforeseen manner. As I reflected on it, I came to understand that none of this was truly part of anyone's design. Events had transpired, outside of our grasp. What I understood deeply was that we had to confront it head-on. We couldn't act as if everything was fine. Karen had a point there, the emotions and uncertainty. Every single matter needed to be confronted. It was something that needed to be confronted. Face it directly, David, my friend, I confided softly. My voice quivers just a bit. What should we do next, David? Gazed upon me. His eyes were brimming with a swirl of feelings. I'm feeling uncertain. Emily, my dear, I'm struggling to understand my emotions. What should I consider? I'm uncertain about whether I should feel anger, filled with shame, or if I have the right to feel anything at all. His voice trembled, unveiling what lies within, wrestle with his expressions. He found himself caught in a struggle between the profound bond we had formed and his commitment to Karen, her spouse. Resolving this matter will take more than just a single discussion. It was more complicated than that. I gathered my courage and approached him, bridging the gap that separates us. I felt the urge to connect with him, to offer him some solace. I found myself questioning whether that was truly the right choice. Things to accomplish. I found myself lost, unsure of what was truly right anymore. It seems like we might not have all the answers at this moment. I spoke gently. I believe it's time for us to have a conversation. Let's share our truths openly. This situation is far too intricate to overlook. David nodded with a thoughtful air. His expression was grave. Yet, there's no anger within me. Indeed. I understand. I'm feeling a bit lost and unsure of how to begin. I grasped his hand gently. The touch is both soothing and filled with unexpressed emotions, feelings. We begin by acknowledging the events that took place, what we experienced, what lingers within us, and then we contemplate what lies ahead. He nodded once more. His expression softened ever so slightly. It won't be a walk in the park, Emily, yet. I find myself yearning for clarity. I feel the need to grasp the dynamics of our relationship. I held his hand tightly. The connection was both soothing and laden with unexpressed feelings. I find myself without all the answers. David, I'm uncertain about what lies ahead. But I'm facing this head on. That's no longer the case. We lingered in quietude for a brief moment, each absorbed in their own reflections, struggling to find clarity in the chaos of it all. The path ahead seemed obscured, leaving me in a state of uncertainty. There are no straightforward solutions, the feelings, the uncertainty. Everything felt like too much to bear. What Karen extended to us was truly a lifeline, a safe haven to confront all that lies ahead, side by side, to face the chaos we had stumbled into. I cast my gaze upon David once more, and for the very first time, I sensed that regardless of what unfolded afterward, we would confront it together, with sincerity. There was no flawless answer. There's no easy solution to mend what's broken, yet, amidst it all, a glimmer of hope remained, yearning for clarity and restoration, and perhaps for something deeper, as I reclined. My mind is a whirlwind of possibilities, each one vying for attention. My mind keeps drifting back to Karen. Her calmness and her offer of understanding revealed a door I never knew was there. She had not turned us away. She chose not to pass judgment on us instead. She had allowed us the space we needed, space to reflect on what transpired. But what comes after this? What do you think will happen next? What if we were to truly acknowledge the intensity of our lingering emotions? Is it possible for us to take the next step, or might the burden of it all become overwhelming, however? Those inquiries are meant for a different moment, aren't they? It was just David and me, enveloped in the quiet of our mutual doubt. We both understood that everything had irrevocably changed between us. All we could do was move forward, one step at a time. Whatever it may be, in some way, we would navigate this journey together.